Pare zes balorin që gitem vonë si prezentacianem tens but it's change. So today I'm going to speak about zero-party data solutions in the cookieless world. Before that, guys, let me give you a little bit of introduction about myself. Really short, couldn't be that boring. My name is Essa. I'm lead product manager at Disco. I have almost 8 to 9 years of experience in product management across Armenia, Dubai, Sweden, Malta, different industries from gaming to market research as I'm doing now to cloud computing, etc. First, let's take a look a little bit at the advertisement cost year on year. That's how much advertisers are paying on advertisement year on year. You can see even 2020, during Corona time, it still increased. And it is projected that it will keep increasing and increasing. This, by the way, is spending in $1 billion per year. Lavik lisu? Shut, buddy. Okay, so now I'm going to speak about cookies. Not the cookies that we are eating on a daily basis, but marketing cookies or HTTP cookies. It has multiple names. We will go through multiple types of them and definition. But let me give you a little bit of history about cookies. So a very lovely web developer early in 1994 called Lo Montelli. Cookies, there were something called magic cookies back then in Unix programming. He decided, okay, it would be really cool to send these cookies on web browsers, to use it in communication in order to store information, to track information about users while they are using their web pages. So he invented the cookies. He was working back then with Netscape. They were developing an e-commerce solution for MCI, one of the biggest telecommunication companies back then, before they went bankrupt in 2002, which is hilarious. They were trying to find a solution for virtual e-commerce. How can I choose something online to buy it, but I don't need to store it on a server. I want to store it on the browser, on the computer of that person who is looking for that item. That's how the cookies were created. Later on, he filed for a patent in 1995. In 1998, he got his patent. But until then, already marketeers have abused the crap out of cookies, literally. In 1996, New York Times made a very big publication about how cookies are unsafe, how it is provocation of your privacy data, 1996. And now we are in 2021 already, and it's still there. So there are certain terminology when we do speak about cookies that I think it is interesting for us to go through before we dive deep into what we are speaking about. One of them is session cookie. Session cookie basically is a cookie which expires or dies once you close your tab. You are browsing, for example, www.fifa.com, for example. You have a cookie there. Once the session finishes, once you close the tab, this cookie dies. Second one, which is, any questions? You can go ahead and interrupt me. Don't feel any pressure regarding that. It's fine. I'm just suffering here to speak to the mic, but yeah. Actually, yata stechem khosum lesumek. Oh, che? Ah, vorga. Okay. I need to stay here. The other terminology is persistent cookie. Persistent cookie is when I create this cookie, which is an HTTP code, by the way. I'm going to say, okay, this cookie is going to last. This cookie is going to last as long as I need it to last. So like 2 hours, 20 years, it really doesn't matter. As long as the expiration date doesn't finish, I'm going to track you. Also, persistent cookies allow me to track your browsing history across multiple other tabs, multiple other websites, etc. Secure cookies. This is served only over HTTPS, so it doesn't allow anyone to look at your cookies. Anyone who is not you, basically, to see your cookies. Another one, HTTP only, which doesn't allow any JavaScript, doesn't allow any API calls. I know it is boring for some of you. Now coming the fun stuff, the third-party cookie. Before going to third-party cookie, let's speak about first-party cookie. If the cookie is with the domain that you are visiting FIFA.com again, because I'm not allowed to use any other company name for branding purposes over here. So if you are visiting FIFA.com over here, the cookie is going to be www.fifa.com, not any other one. Third party is not like that. Imagine that you have a website full of advertisement, full of banners of another websites. So, for example, Which company? Can someone suggest a company? No. Okay. iFix, for example. iFix is doing an advertisement on FIFA.com website. It has a different URL. So it has a cookie already on your browser. So whenever you are going here or there, this cookie is stored on your browser. It will see what you do. It will report it to the advertisers back. So they form a personality around you. Like, this person enjoys going to these websites, enjoying doing this or that or that, but within the same computer or same mobile or same applications that you are using. That's the limitation of the cookie. Coming later, something called is a super cookie. And really, it is super cookie because it doesn't need to have a domain name, doesn't need to have a .com. It has a .com. So if you are FIFA.com, it is just .com. Very super high level. But thankfully, nowadays, all the browsers block this .com hacky thing from basically tracking you. Then there is a zombie cookie. It is not stored mainly on your device, on the browser, or in the cache. It's stored in a hidden place. And why it's called zombie? Because whenever the browser kills it or it finds it, it will regenerate itself and create a total new cookie. And the wall, we will come to it later once we speak about it. Cookies and advertisement. So for so many years, advertisers have used these cookies without your knowledge. Later on, when it became mandatory after CCPA and GDPR, they used these cookies. They formed the character around you. They know what you do, what you would like. Have any one of you, for example, had a phone call and then second moment he's opening any social media website and finding an advertisement tracking him? That's what it does, literally. Except that tracking phone is totally another topic, but we will speak about it as well. Now, it is mandatory by law, by CCPA and GDPR, to protect you that websites tell you, hey, this website is using cookies to track you. Some websites make it that, okay, I'm going just to show you this. If you are not going to accept the cookie, I'm not going to show you the website, and that's it. But thankfully, that's ending pretty soon. So, problem with cookies, it fails across apps. It doesn't track you across apps. So if you open Facebook and then you went to Instagram, the cookie died. It expires, these third-party cookies. Also, it fails across devices. So if you, for example, were searching for a product on your computer, and then you try to buy the same product on mobile, it fails. So their understanding of your journey is totally wrong. Because maybe you search it for the product and that's it. They put you as a character that you only search, you don't buy, but you bought the same product from your mobile. So even their tracking of you and their sending to you this advertisement is not correct, is not personalized for you per se. And definitely, cookies are not here to stay. So if I want to see this lovely customer journey that someone saw an ad and then someone searched for that product after seeing the ad and then someone visited the website that I'm advertising for and then bought my product, I cannot see that. Because if I did that across multiple devices, if I did that across multiple apps, it is dying. So their understanding even of marketing is dying. So, and a lot of websites have been using these cookies for a long time. Once now it goes away, and they started going away. So Tor turned it down, Apple turned it down, Firefox turned it down. Google, which we will speak about in a moment, was going to turn it down next year, but extended it till 2023. The reason was basically Corona, and people were not working too much work on web developers, so let's wait for next year to do it. That was a Google ban. Once Google bans third-party cookies, advertisers will be in like, how can I know whom to send the advertisements? How can I know the characters or the behavior of these people? Any company of the market research in the industry which has been for years using cookies will be out of business, or they need to act really fast to cope with that change. They need to find a way to basically advertise or measure even that advertisement, because they spend, as we saw earlier on, billions and billions of dollars on this advertisement. So how can they adjust that spending that they do? They need to understand how their ads are performing, how their users are getting attracted to these ads, what is the journey, what the person is doing from the moment he's seeing the ad till the moment he buys the product. And that's failing now with the cookies. Also worth to mention that Apple introducing the intelligent tracking prevention, ITP, they already blocked the third-party cookies. So you cannot add any third-party cookie on Safari or in any Apple device. In addition to that, they added that whenever someone is tracking you, Apple is asking you, do you allow this app to track you, yes or no? So is that the end for cookies? And actually, why I'm not sharing? Okay. Weird. Okay. Okay. So at least the animation will, it was a cool one. Okay. So is that the end for cookies? What we will do after cookies? So before I speak about zero-party data and what it means, let's speak that we are literally in the century of data. Everything is data. You cannot make an assumption. Opinions doesn't matter. Like if you say, I know that this is the right path, then you are wrong because you don't have anything to support it. Everything is about data. So instead of fighting it, instead of fighting sharing our data, let's embrace it because it is coming. One way or another, it is coming. And that's what we mean by zero-party data. Don't try to track me without my knowledge. Don't try to know what I'm doing. Ask me. And if I'm interested, I will do it. We as the people, oh, that's super American, right? So we the people, since we own this data, we want to share this data for some purpose. Shaping the brands, giving our exact opinion about these brands so that they can change some of their strategies, can change some of their decisions, can build the brands which suits us. But there are really key values or pillars or whatever to zero-party data. First, privacy. What do I choose to share? As a person who is going to share my data with you, I want to choose what data I want to share, on which products, on which websites, when to track me and what not. And then, how safe is my information? Are you protecting it? How can you ensure me that I am safe and nobody else that I didn't give the right to track me is tracking me? And that's the key word here, like how to give this feel of safety to the users that you are going to get their data and how they are going to be rewarded for it. Because it's not free, guys. Like these guys are spending billions of dollars on everyone getting their data using cookies now. Now it is time to embrace it. Like if you want me to share my data, that's, for example, I want to sell my data for that amount. I want to get a reward. I want to shape the brand. I want a benefit. Give me what I deserve at the end of the day. Transparency. What exactly do you share? It's really funny if any of you guys went to Facebook and checked there is a section about ads and ads that are targeting you. They segment you. For example, you like football, you are black, you are Caucasian. A lot of stuff about your behavior, but it's really funny because they share with you the highest level of details. They don't tell you how they segmented you, how they came up with this understanding. For example, in my Facebook account, it shows that I like dresses. I buy dresses for my wife, but I don't like dresses. So start asking me before targeting me for stuff that is not for me. And definitely your voice matters. You as a person, you are shaping the brands. These brands are selling to you, not selling to anyone else. They are trying to sell the crap out of their products, of course, to every and each one of you. But sell me what I want. Like if you are going to make, for example, this share, make it with the colors that I prefer. Make it with the materials that I prefer. Offer me higher quality. Give your opinion. Don't be afraid to share your data as long as you trust the person whom you are sharing your data with. Let me show you a 3-minute video, if I may. This is some solutions that we currently are capable of doing. And what is? Okay, just watch clearly, guys, here as I'm going to Google, for example, and I'm starting to try to search for something. Now I visited Google, right? I'm going to YouTube. Now I see that I exited Google. I'm now going to view this on laptop, event name page view, which is youtube.com. We'll come to it, just give it a second. And you can see a lot of more details what we can at the moment see about people whenever they are visiting anything, which helps us customize their experience. So now I'm searching for iPhone XR. I'm going there, I can find that there is iPhone XR on youtube.com with the title, 1XR review, no need to panic. I can see the advertisement here in media ad start. I can see everything the person is doing from one browser to another, from Google to YouTube to advertisement to another media ads, etc. Cookies cannot do that at the moment because once you leave one place and go to the other, if it is not related or it is not included inside the main domain, you wouldn't be able to track that. I can now understand the whole customer journey. What do they like? What they are visiting? From what place to which place? And since this is running really slow, I can go ahead and continue with the presentation. Ooh. And close this. Yep. So let's together start owning this century of data. Let's start sharing our data normally with the people whom we trust in order for us to get the products that we deserve. Questions, guys?
What's the business model, like how they earn money? Like those companies who create cookies, how they earn money?
But by advertising, so mainly our advertisement companies, when they are running a campaign or running any advertisement, they try to advertise to the people who are going to make the most money, who are going to buy their product. So with cookies at the moment, they try to find the people who are more interested in their product from histories that they have stored about these users. So for example, you are visiting alwayspepsi.com. And I have stored data using cookies, not any other methodology, that you are visiting Pepsi.com all the time and you are buying. So when I send you an advertisement about a new product related to the same topic, you are most likely to spend money on it.
Yep. Thanks.
Anytime.
What is going to happen with the identity grabs?
With what? Sorry.
With identity grabs.
Okay, identity is really cool because a lot of people are going through that, but if you think about it, identity platforms in general give you a very aggregated level of data because when you integrate against them, you wouldn't get everything. You wouldn't get both of the pillars of both worlds, like behavioral data and opinions at the same time. So it will happen. A lot of people will integrate against all these big platforms. But all the data, no new data, obviously, since this platform, some of them don't have zero party. They don't have their own users. They already integrated using cookies, so thanks. They are going away. No.
Who's becoming the biggest player?
We?
In 3 years. Who?
Hopefully we.
Disco, you mean?
I cannot say that.
Explain a little bit, how is that going to happen? And why
Can
don't
I?
actually postpone?
Okay, so we don't care about the postpone. We are moving on with what we are working and doing. We have 16 million users in the markets that we are targeting, which is the US at the moment. We can expand. I cannot speak about that. So we have 16 million users whom share their data with us, whom we know everything about them from the moment they leave their home till now. They trust us because we protect their data. We give them the trust. We give them the transparency so they know what we track about them. We tell them what we are doing with the data and for what reason. We don't do advertisement, just to be clear on that. We don't send advertisements to anyone. We just measure advertisement. So if you spend, for example, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, multiple places to do your advertisement, and even on Facebook, you put an advertisement on top and one down and one in the middle, I can measure it for you across all these media partners, across all these placement themes, across even all the creative advertisement pieces that you do have. And at the same time, I can survey these 16 million users who are pretty much spread 16 million across the US with multiple demographics. I can basically survey them and ask them about their opinion about your ad, about your product, about everything. That's why we are winning, big time.
I assume that those 16 million are pretty different from the rest of the market that are not with you. What is the main difference?
You are speaking about 16 million out of 300 million, which is pretty spread around. So our sample is not basically diverted towards one segment. Our segment is pretty much spread across over there in old.
Are you like going and reaching people that you need, or that voluntary?
There is multiple ways to do that, of course. We do have a website, our main website, which I wouldn't mention its name, otherwise people will get sad. But it is not here. The market is in the US. And this website, definitely we do marketing, definitely we have affiliates, definitely people register on their own on our website and enjoy the benefits that we give, both for just being on the website as well as for sharing their data with us.
Thanks.
Anytime.
What if you're browsing in private mode, like in incognito mode? Can those cookies track you?
Yes, they can. Unfortunately. But the cookies are going away, so the idea is not in the cookies. Tracking is easy to track in any mode. We, for example, and we don't do that. Like, we respect your privacy, and we don't track anything which has sensitive information about you. That's what I mean by the future. The companies which respect their users in the future are not going to basically have any private information about you. We are just interested in enriching your experience, making your life better.
So is it possible to filter out the sensitive information?
Of course it is.
How do you do that?
You get the whole, so we do have like a block list and a allowed list. Our allowed list is the websites that we can actually track everything because they do not store sensitive information and it keeps on growing. Our blocked list are the websites which we do not track at all because I am not interested what you do in your bathroom, literally. As well, even if you are not from the block list or the allowed list, we track everything and then we start cutting down more than the domain. We only interested in what you viewed, so only the page domain and truncate everything else because not necessary for us to get your social security number. I am not going to do anything with it.
Yeah, and customers know, right?
Of course they know.
The criteria.
Of course they know. We are telling them they have the right to download everything we store on them. They have the right to delete every information we store on them. They have the right even to enjoy our benefits without basically allowing us to sell the data. That's why I'm saying embracing the future, right? Data is not going anywhere. Nobody is going to hide, unless we are going to hide all in like caves and try to avoid interaction with everyone. Our data is useful, so it is better to use it than trying to be like, I don't know.
And what mainly motivates people to share the data with you?
That their opinion matters. Across especially younger generations, it is clear that they are afraid and worried a lot about their security, which obviously makes sense. But the motivation for them more than benefits, and I can tell you that from experience, is that their opinion matters. They see that based on sharing their data and share their opinion, their experience is getting better. And that their opinion is heard. Imagine that you are answering a survey about what you don't like in a brand, saying, for example, I hate that color. And then after a few months, you find out, oh, they changed their colors, they are rebranding. What will be your opinion? You'll feel good, because you were part of that decision. Now, since every product is built for us, it's not built for marketeers or it's not built to put it out there in the internet, every product is built for the users who are going to use it. So better for us to get what we really want, not what they think we want.
But in addition to that, do they also get some perks and benefits?
They get perks, monthly perks and benefits. In addition to only if they share their opinion without any data, without us seeing what they do, just answering a couple of questions, they get money for these questions.
Okay. And one last question, sorry. Is the data provided consciously as accurate as the one that you track across
Of course.
from his unconscious activities?
Of course.
Yeah? Okay.
That's why we always say that sometimes people say an opinion, but what they do is different from their opinion. And then you can always see the difference. That's our advantage mainly, because you can know the difference and act accordingly.
Can I ask a question as well?
Please go ahead.
Yeah, you mentioned in your presentation that, for example, Apple, they have their own cookies, they don't accept third-party cookies, and I believe the same is happening with Google. Also in Chrome as well, they will not be accepting third-party cookies. How this is going to affect businesses similar to the ones that you described, how these are going to affect the large affiliate networks who are using the cookies.
They need to find another way. Some businesses already figured a way. You don't need to go track people without their knowledge. Tell the people that you want information and give them the rewards and benefits for it. These are the businesses which will succeed in the future. Google extended, I cannot do that. Google extended to 2023 for a reason. They tried to give developers a time to adapt, to find a new solution, because mainly after they ban it, that's it. That's literally it. There is no other way it can be used.
Can you share your knowledge with what that solution might be?
Sure, zero-party data. What I mentioned here by zero-party data, having your own panel. Like whether Facebook having their own billions of users, whether some other people, not mentioning names, having their own people, having your own users, speaking to them directly. That's what means zero-party panel. Don't try to go through affiliates, don't try to go through third party, go directly to the people you are trying to target. Build your own. Even if you are going to use an affiliate later on, he needs to have his own first party because he cannot do it anymore. No other questions, guys? Awesome. Okay, thank you so much.